Hello, everyone. Welcome to week two, which is our second module of the week. We'll be focusing on academic integrity, which is basically learning the right way. You may have noticed in the syllabus when you read through it that one of our learning outcomes for this class is learning about academic integrity and how to do your schoolwork honestly. Now, I'd like to say that most of us do that already, but the statistics show otherwise. As you guys will see in chapter 2, something like 80% of people have cheated at some point or another in school. And that's not to say that cheating in school once or twice makes you a horrible, evil person. But there are really good reasons not to do it. Okay. And so we'll explore some of that stuff in this week's module. So make sure you get in early, start reading chapter 2, particularly focus your attention on the bit about academic integrity. You'll be quizzed over the policy for the college because that's one of the things that we want you to understand. So focus some particular attention on that. I do want to say just a couple words about academic misconduct, just the sort of the issues with it, right? So because it's so common, a lot of folks think of it as just sort of being like speeding, right? Everyone does it. What's the big deal? Well, it's a pretty big deal that's different from cheating or from speeding, right? So speeding typically, unless you get in an accident, is more or less a victimless kind of thing, right? You're not hurting anyone by speeding unless you're, speeding to the point of being reckless, like the drag races on Bayshore and that sort of stuff. But cheating always hurts other people, right? First and foremost, cheating in school. Your other students in your class are victims of unfairness, right? So if you're cheating and taking advantage of extra materials that other students don't have access to, that's unfair, right? If you get extra time on an assignment without good reason, that's unfair. If you plagiarize someone else's work and you get credit for work that you didn't do, that other students had to do, that's unfair. So there's always a sort of built-in unfairness going on whenever there's an instance of cheating, which typically doesn't motivate you guys all that much, right? Most of the time, there's a famous Scottish philosopher named David Hume who once said, I should prefer the destruction of the entire world to the pricking of my own finger, which is to say, you don't care what happens to people who aren't you. Typically, you're only concerned with how things affect you. So let me try to motivate you to be academically honest through sort of looking at it through a selfish lens or self-interested lens, right? You may not think of it this way, but every time you engage in cheating, you're making a wager or a bet. Right? You're betting that you're going to get away with it and that you're going to get the rewards for whatever the cheating happens to be. What you're wagering against is the possibility of getting caught, right? So you make a bet that you won't get caught and that the reward will be X, Y, or Z, 5 points on a discussion board, 20 points on a paper, or whatever it happens to be, an A for the class, right? That's what your wager is. Now, if you win your bet, you win your A or your 5 points on your quiz or discussion board or whatever. But if you lose your bet, what do you stand to lose? Well, at first, it may not seem like you stand to lose a lot, right? You get a 0 on the assignment or something like that. In this class, as you guys will recall from the syllabus, if you get caught, that's an automatic F for the class, no matter how big or how small the cheating is. Why is the penalty so severe? Well, first of all, because you're going to know about what all the rules are by the time you're done with this unit. And second of all, Satan has a special bench in hell for people who cheat in ethics class. So if you cheat in this class and I catch you, it's an automatic F for the class. Now, if it turns out that it's your second offense here at SBC, that means you might be expelled from the school. Right? And if you get expelled from the school, that goes on your record. And if it turns out that you get suspended or expelled for cheating, chances are really, really small that you ever end up getting accepted to another college or university, because that stays with you, right? So in effect, what you're actually wagering isn't just that you get a 0 or you get a hand slap. You're wagering possibilities for your own future against 5 points on a discussion board, 5 points on a quiz, 20 points on a paper. The upshot of this is it's always just a silly bet to make, right? That cheating, even if you get away with it, the risk always outweighs the reward. And so it's kind of a foolish bet to make, right? So the Powerball right now is really, really high. Buying a lottery ticket makes some sense. Why? Because the payoff is vastly heavier, outweighs the amount of sacrifice that you make. So $1 with a chance of winning, I don't know, was it 750 million bucks? That's worth it. However, if you're wagering 5 points on a discussion board versus destroying your entire future potentially, that's never worth it. So cheating is always a bad gamble. And it's not a good thing to do, right? No matter how pressured or how stressed or how insecure you feel about the work, you're always better off asking for help than trying to shortcut and cheat. And let me just say that as far as this class is concerned, if you feel confused, if you feel lost, if you feel like you need help, don't go to outside sources. Don't try to find stuff on the internet. Don't find dishonest ways to work through this class. Talk to me. Right? My job is to help you understand the material, and if things aren't clear, make me your first resort. Don't start down the dodgy path because it's kind of hard to veer back in once you do. So do your best to avoid cheating. At the end of this unit, you'll understand all the different ways that it might happen. And henceforth, we'll be holding you accountable to meet these standards. And sort of one of the reasons I'm so severe about cheating is not just because it's sort of a crazy bet for you guys to make, but this class is about learning how to think for yourself. And cheating is exactly the opposite of thinking for yourself. And so to the extent that you cheat in this class, you'll have already failed what we're trying to develop, which is learning how to reason through these ethical problems using your own critical thinking skills, not somebody else's. So for the love of everything sacred that you hold dear, do not cheat in this class, and don't cheat in the rest of your educational journey. Even if you've done it before, right? Most people have. That's in the past, but going forward, practice good academic integrity. If you have any questions, I will be around this week. Let me know. Reach out to me via Google Voice, shoot me an email. I'm always happy to help. All right. Have a good week.